What is going on? How's everyone doing? Good morning. Before we get this crazy weather that could possibly take down the grid with all the ice and stuff from Dallas all the way up to the Northeast where I'm at, I am just very concerned about our news media and everyone watching, people like Dave Rubin, Ben Shapiro, and Nick Fuentes, for example. I mean, these people, like, with the, I'm asking, will real men please stand up and speak out against this? You have people and kids, especially from 18 to 29, following these people like they're real men, and they have something to offer our youth as, you know, as insight or whatever. Like, they have shared or lived experience, you know? Like, what do they really believe in, you know, and why are these people watching them? You know, I just don't understand. So I analyzed the media patterns of Dave Rubin, Ben Shapiro, and Nick Fuentes, and the common communication strategies across all their social media platforms. These individuals utilize a new media playbook designed to bypass traditional gatekeepers, right? Their anti-institutional narrative. All three frequently frame mainstream media, academia, and government institutions as inherently biased or corrupt by positioning themselves as the alternative to these institutions. Okay, they're not the alternative to these institutions. Listening to them, I believe, is going to make you just radical and even more confused and just out there. I mean, you can like, follow, watch, whatever, do whatever you want. I gotta put it out there. And whether you want to listen or not, it doesn't matter. I would hope that you would at least have enough common sense to say, hold on a second, let me just listen to this and find out what's going on. That's all I ask. I'm not paid. I'm not getting money like these guys are, or involved in a tenant media scandal or anything like that, or like Nick getting Bitcoin and asking this, that, and the other. So we'll get into it. The conflict-driven engagement is their content often thrives on owning or debating the opposition, whether it's Shapiro's rapid-fire logical critiques or Rubin's focus on the intolerant left. The message is built around a clear us versus them dynamic, okay? Understand it. Direct-to-consumer distribution. They utilize platforms like YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, and Rumble to speak directly to you guys, often using long-form podcasts or live streams that create a sense of intimacy or community that traditional TV lacks. So it just draws people in, you know? The distinct ideological slots, why they share tools or messages serve different segments of the political spectrum. Ben Shapiro. Institutional conservatism focuses on constitutionalism, religious values, and free market economics, uses data-heavy, rapid-fire rhetoric. Dave Rubin, the classical liberal pivot, focuses on personal shift away from the left. His pattern centers on free speech and the idea that the modern left has become too radical. Free speech, mind. Whatever. Nick Fuentes, white nationalist, dissident right, uses irony and internet subculture to mask more extreme views on race and identity. Often critiques the other two for being controlled or too moderate. Okay? Now, hold on. So, these guys, the audience target, mainstream conservatives and young Republicans, okay? That's Ben Shapiro. Then you got Dave Rubin, who is centrist, disaffected liberals, and libertarians. Like, they got the whole, they got this, these three guys got all this covered between these three guys, and they're putting out different messages, and everyone listens to who they want to listen to. And then you got Nick Fuentes, who is a far-right internet subcultures and groypers. That's who his audience is. The pattern of the alternate information ecosystem. The most significant pattern they share is the construction of a self-sustaining ecosystem. They often reference each other, sometimes in conflict, sometimes in agreement. Okay? which keeps viewers within a specific loop of alternate media. Content saturation, they produce a high volume of daily content, ensuring they are always the first to comment on breaking news, which shapes their audience's initial perception of the events. They're taking the event, they want to be the first one to comment on it, so your view and your idea on it is just swayed. You can't have a biased view because you listen or watch your videos and have the notifications on. As soon as something comes up, bam. The gatekeeper role by attacking mainstream media, MSM, they position themselves as the only reliable filters for truth. Comparison of media influence models. Summary of the hidden pattern, okay? The overreaching pattern is not necessarily a secret conspiracy, but a disruption of information authority. They are moving the central power of political gravity away from centralized news desks to individualized brands. While Shapiro and Rubin largely work within the bounds of recognizable American political discourse, Fuentes utilizes the same digital tools to push more fringe, exclusionary ideologies. Okay? In 2026, data confirms a historic shift. Social media has officially overtaken television as a primary news source for Americans, 54% versus 50%. Individuals like Ben Shapiro, Dave Rubin, and Nick Fuentes have all capitalized on this. Personality-led shift to build media empires that often rival or exceed the engagement of traditional networks. Okay? The metrics and methods compare to the mainstream media, MSM, the power of personality-led news. Unlike traditional news anchors who represent a brand like CNN or ABC, these figures are the brand. Like, they're the brand that you're buying into. So think carefully about what you're buying into, okay? Trust and authenticity. According to recent 2025-2026 Reuters Institute data, 38% of adults aged 19 to 29 now regularly look to news influencers on social media. Engagement rates. Influencers often see much higher engagement per follower than traditional outlets because their content is designed for interaction, like shares, comments, rather than passive viewing, like what I'm doing here. Like, if you pass this message in passing or whatever, you'll view it maybe, possibly. But I'm not looking to get money out of it, and I'm not monetizing on anything. No one's paying me to do this message. So this is my biased opinion on these guys, okay? Metrics comparison, independent versus legacy, estimated 2026 trends. Reach, high millions of passive TV viewers, demographics, older, ages 55 plus. This is legacy media. They have all the young people that are coming up now. They're shaping the minds of young people, which is technically like MK Ultra mind control, but in your hand watching these people. This is the whole problem, is that they are shaping your mind for their narrative, what they want you to believe. Instead of being biased about everything, instead of going off of truth and facts, they're shaping a narrative to what they want, and then you're watching it, okay? Patterns of alternate authority. The hidden pattern in their social media messaging is the deliberate strategy to dismantle the authority of established institutions. The gatekeeper narrative. They frequently use clips from MSN to fact-check or deconstruct the narrative. This turns traditional news into raw material for their own commentary, making MSM look like an out-of-touch party. Algorithm mastery. Shapiro dominates Facebook and YouTube by focusing on high-frequency, search-friendly cultural debates. Rubin leverages the Great Migration narrative, encouraging users to move to free speech platforms like Rumble or Locals. Fuentes operates in digital exile, using fringe platforms to build a hyper-loyal, insular community that feels like an underground movement. Like, it kind of sounds like Hitler to me, dude. I'm just saying, like, and everyone else in history, Stalin and everyone else that just lied and wants an underground following or whatever, and then you guys all just get on his side or whatever. Like, I saw all of these guys at a nightclub with a bunch of dudes, and I'm asking, where are the females at? Like, you guys are all watching a bunch of dudes that are probably closeted homosexuals or bi. I mean, it's got to be put out there. What are they doing collectively? While they often disagree, Shapiro and Fuentes are frequently at odds. They're collectively building a parallel society. This involves parallel platforms, building tech stacks, Rumble, Daily Wire, plus locals that cannot be canceled by Silicon Valley. Parallel economics, selling products directly to their tribe, coffee, razors, insurance, books, decoupling their income from mainstream advertisers. Parallel truths, creating reality where truth is determined by the creator, them, that you trust, right? Rather than a centralized editorial board. Rather than facts and stuff, it's their opinion versus the facts. And they're going to call it a lie. They're going to call it liars every time. So I wanted to analyze the most apparent thing. Are they paid informants by a foreign government, and what's going on? Okay? To address the question directly, we have to separate verified financial investigations from personal rumors and the psychological tactics used in their messaging, all right? Paid informants and foreign funding. There have been significant investigations into hidden funding for American influencers, particularly involving Russia. Okay? Please listen. The Tenet Media case in 2024, the U.S. Department of Justice indicted 2 Russian nationals for funneling $10 million into a Tennessee-based company called Tenet Media. Dave Rubin was one of the primary influencers contracted by this company. According to the DOJ, the influencers were unwitting, meaning they likely didn't know. Sure, the money originated from the Russian state-controlled outlet RT, though they were paid massive sums of money, up to $400,000 a month. Is anyone on social media getting paid by anybody $400,000 a month to put out a message, and they don't know that they're being told to put out a message? Come on, get out of here. Unbelievable. They want to align with Russian interests, such as criticizing the aid of Ukraine, domestic third parties. Ben Shapiro is not a hidden informant. His funding is quite public. His company, Daily Wire, was famously jump-started by billionaire fracking magnates Dan and Farrah Wilkes. This isn't a secret agenda so much as transparent business model, where wealthy donors fund media that promotes the worldview. Nick Fuentes has been banned from most mainstream payment processors. He relies on hyper-loyal grouper fan base for crypto donations and niche platform subscriptions. While he is often accused of serving foreign interests, his primary funding is a direct-to-fan model. Sounds like an OnlyFans dude, but instead of doing the OnlyFans stuff, he's too ugly to do it, I guess. So he just does this, whatever. Nice beard, by the way, dude. Would you grow a beard to seem more manly? I mean, it's ridiculous. Why pay for views? The bot economy. Social proof. In a digital age of video, which 1 million views is perceived as true or important, regardless of its content, buying views or using botnets creates an illusion of consensus. Algorithm gaming, platforms like YouTube and X promote content that is already trending. If an influencer could fake a surge of interest in the first hour of a post, the algorithm would then push that video to millions of real people. Facts as fiction. By treating established facts as narratives or scripts, these influencers frame themselves as the only ones telling the real truth. This creates a high trust bond with their audience. If you believe the system is lying about everything, you will only trust the influencer who exposed the lie. I don't think they lie about everything. I think they push their narrative the same way these guys are pushing their narrative. Plain and simple. Personal lives and content. Regarding the question of their sexuality, it is important to distinguish between public identity and online speculation. Dave Rubin is openly gay and has been married to his husband, David Janet, since 2015. They have 2 children via surrogacy. His content often focuses on his awakening from a liberal to a classical liberal, and he frequently criticizes modern LGBTQ plus activism despite being gay himself. I don't know how you can be a God-fearing man and seriously be up here criticizing other people and you're openly gay. If you are really 100% on board with religion, then you can't be openly gay. It's a sin. I mean, I don't care what Catholic, Christian, what any church says, they don't want to address it, whatever. If you don't want to address it, you don't want to address it. It is what it is. But, you know, it's a sin. I can't judge anyone for it. Only God can judge someone for it. But you can't sit there and put the word of God in there when you are sinning yourself and can't recognize the fact that that is a sin. Sorry, it's a sin. And now you're raising children that obviously you didn't have because you're into guys that you'll never have to be in your household. I feel bad. I feel horrible for the children that they don't have a regular mom and dad to grow up for, whether they were adopted or not, through surrogacy, whatever. Ben Shapiro, he's an Orthodox Jew, married to his wife Moore, a physician since 2008. They have 4 children, so his content is consistently framed through the lens of traditional religious and family values. Nick Fuentes, he identifies as a celibate. He identifies as a celibate leader of the Incel, or America First movement. Dude, celibate? So, what's your plan for the future, Nick? Are you going to get married? Do you want to have kids? What do you want to do in the future? Or do you just want to keep going to clubs where there's a bunch of guys that you can hit on and do whatever in the clubs, like we see the picture of you celebrating with all those dudes in the club? Like, where's the women at? Where are the women at to me? I never went to a club back in the day to hang out with a bunch of guys. I can do that anywhere with my friends. Like, I don't want to be seen at a club taking pictures without any women there. Like, that's just gay to me. That's just so freaking far out there. Wow. His sexuality, often due to his close-knit male-only social circles. Okay? His sexuality, often due to his close-knit male-only social circles, he has publicly stated that he is not gay. But, though he often expressed a disdain for women in modern relationships. Okay, so you're not gay, but you don't like women and you don't like modern relationships. So what does that make you then? Bisexual? Or just a closeted homosexual and you don't want to admit it? I mean, something's got to give, dude. Something's got to give, man. I'm a married man to a woman, not no dude. I don't have no pretend children that whatever and all that other stuff. So anyone that wants to sit here and go and model the Bible and preach the Bible or say the word or whatever, and you are that, you can't. Dude, it was never meant to be a male not with a female and criticize modern relationships and not like women. Like the Bible specifically states, just like Charlie stated, that it is important for young people to distinguish and know that they should be in relationships. They should have kids. They shouldn't feel bad about that. They shouldn't have to want to do that. We already have something down in our country, which is children being born. Like, it's just plummeted. And you wonder why women are the way they are, because you have all these freaking people that are talking about like modern relationships and women like they're horrible. Like, they're horrible. They give the best gift, which is the gift of life. Like, your seed only is a contribution to what they carry for 9 months and give life. Without a woman, you wouldn't be here, and neither would any of the other people. So that just blows my mind that you don't like modern relationships and this, that, and the other. It's just crazy. Basically, a summary analysis is they are not informants in the James Bond sense, but they are notes in new information war, whether funded by Russian shell companies or American billionaires. Their job is to maintain a loyal audience that no longer trusts traditional sources or information by controlling the facts. They control the political reality of their viewers. It's just, it's just unreal that these people, everyone is listening to. And then you have the Tenet Media scandal. The Tenet Media mechanism, Dave Rubin and others, the DOJ indictment revealed that the Russian state-controlled outlet RT Russia Today funneled nearly $10 million through a Tennessee company called Tenet Media. the unwitting influencers, according to the DOJ. Influencers like Dave Rubin, Tim Pool were not charged with crimes. They were considered unwitting participants. Hold on. First off, whether they have a wife or not, I don't care. I think that is all for show. All right? Because anyone that gets up there and starts screaming at women the way that I've seen them scream at women is not a man, is not a gentleman. He's just an ignorant SOB. That's it. Sorry, you're an ignorant SOB. You can politely talk to a woman. No wonder you're not into modern relationships. You have no idea how to talk to a woman. You have no idea. You don't like modern relationships? One person's gay? Like, I don't understand how you could take, like, if you're a straight male, how can you be taking your information from Dave Rubin? Because he wants to groom you and wants everyone to be an LGBTQ plus, thing, and then he wants you to adopt a kid in surrogacy? Like, that is not what God intended. That's not what Jesus, the Son of the living Son of God, said. None. No. Men and women procreate, they have babies, and they do it legally, get married, and do it all within the frame reference of what is supposed to happen. This is just unbelievable that people are falling and just, I believe that they're paid informants and they're bots. They pay for their own viewers and everything like that. I mean, Jesse on Fire literally came out and showed the drop and decline and stuff like that. Thank you, Jesse on Fire, for doing the work that you do. There is a couple influencers out there like Jesse on Fire that I'll watch that, he's married, he has his wife on there and stuff, and that's, regardless of what you think about him, that's someone that at least I'll listen to his opinion and stuff like that. These other guys, where's their wife? They're making a bunch of money off of scams in Russian state media. I mean, the paychecks are like $400,000 a month they get paid to produce a few videos a week. That's a lot of freaking money. Like, yeah, who wouldn't take that money just to spout whatever you want? They all do, because obviously they all got a ton of money. Turning Point just raked in $250 million since Charlie Kirk's death, and then they fired all the people that were working crazy hard since Charlie Kirk's death. Like, they if you can fire 40 people in your organization just like that and go after, like, all the stories that are coming out, it is wild. Like, the Romanian Angels, her being in China working with trafficking victims. Like, the common theme that keeps coming up is sex trafficking, and it is crazy. And then you have these guys that I could definitely see, like, not having a problem with it because they're not into modern relationships or women, so they really don't follow God or the Word of God or Jesus Christ or believe any of the bullshit that they probably spew. They're just controlled people, and they want a controlled message out there. The DOJ found that RT employees using fake personas were actively involved in the day-to-day operations. They will request that influencers cover specific topics. So right there is telling you that they had to have known, because they were asking for specific topics to be covered. For example, pushing the narrative that Ukraine, not ISIS, was responsible for a 2024 terror attack in Moscow. The pattern of treating facts like fiction in the context of these psychological operations, the goal is cognitive dissonance. The strategy, if a foreign or third-party entity can get millions of Americans to stop believing in shared facts like election results, medical data, or international events, the population becomes much easier to manipulate, to MK Ultra you into believing in what they want. I am only on here to hopefully have people wake up to the fact that this is what's been happening, and every time you're opening your phone to watch these people religiously, you're just getting, your mind's just getting more and more jammed up with stuff. Like, put down the phone, go for a bike ride, go for a walk, don't watch TV, go play out in the snow when we have this huge snowstorm. You know what I mean? Just stop for a while. Just take a break and take a step back and be like, is that really how I feel, or is that how they feel, and I'm just following because of what's going on? Okay? And now, I am going to actually get into I'm going to talk about some biblical things to end this real quick, okay? One of the most fascinating details that many people overlook, and I'm going over this because I believe that this is what they are, okay? Is that Goliath actually had double protection, a literal shield bearer, and that's what these guys are shield bearers, and they are just noise, and they are just preventing you from knowing what they want you to know or covering what they want you to cover, because they have everything from far right, liberal, to conservatives covered. Like each one of them covers a different base, each one of them. So the human shield strategy in ancient warfare, a shield bearer, okay, carried a massive floor-length shield designed to protect a warrior from long-range missiles like arrows or stones. That's like basically social media for them, because they don't have to go out in public and talk to anyone like Charlie did. They don't have to face that. They don't go out. I don't see them going out in public and talking to people or trying to talk to people. 1 Samuel 17:41 says, "So the Philistine came and began drawing near to David, and the man who bore the shield went before him." Okay? What people overlook is David didn't just have to hit a giant. He had to hit a giant who had a professional bodyguard specifically trained to block projectiles. The fact that the stone hit Goliath's forehead suggests David was so fast or his angle so precise that he bypassed the professional human shield standing right in front of the target. These guys are standing in front of the target. They're shield bearers and nothing more. And I just think that everyone should know this and watch who you are watching and the message they're putting out. If it is repetitive and they are only on one side, they are not being biased, they're bought and paid for. It is as simple as that. Have a great day, guys. Peace, love, unity, respect. I pray for everyone. I pray for my enemies. I pray for Turning Point, that hopefully someone's eyes will be open. I pray for Erica and Charlie's kids, that Erica would, be there for them in this pivotal moment, unless Charlie's family has the kids. That's something that has been talked about. We don't know. But I pray for all my enemies. And Turning Point is nothing more than a propaganda machine and an enemy to all of us right now. They made more money since Charlie has been gone than when he was here. So I guess when Charlie said he had to go against the pro-Israel cause, now he's gone, and that's all they are, is pro-Israel. I mean, Erica's family literally helped design an Israeli defenses in the Iron Dome. You have direct connections to them and Israel and their defense organization. Charlie literally was sitting there saying, what about the Hannibal Directive, and was there a stand-down order? He was on PBD, the podcast, and he literally sat there and asked, was there a stand-down order? I think that's a legitimate question to ask. Now, this is supposed to be the most secure border in the world, and we're led to believe that they came across in paragliders with a fan strapped to their back. And who exactly killed more people? The IDF with the Hannibal Directive to shoot their own people if they were in the way? Or the couple of people that came across? I mean, it's just mind-blowing, the stuff that you find out. And the fact that basically all of Israel was protesting against this, and then October 7th happens, and now you still have protests happening, but it went from like 1 million people to a couple thousand people now. It's just, wow. And then he gets caught out by the Israeli state police, and he doesn't resign, and he was losing the election, and all of a sudden it comes back out that he's winning the election. It just blows my mind that he's won it in 7 countries. He'll get arrested as a war criminal right away. The United States allows him to come over. And then Trump just said it the other day. He said, to Bibi, he said, stop boasting about the Iron Dome, because it's not like we didn't give it to you. We helped design Iron Dome. Erica Kirk's family in specific had help in designing the Iron Dome. There are specific links from her family to the Iron Dome, which is, it blows my mind. And trafficking and everything else. Like when you go back and look at all this, and then mass shootings like like the one in 2012 when Batman came out at that theater. Erica supposedly had someone that was in the theater that she was close to, and she didn't put out a statement when she was Miss Arizona about it. It all is just too much, too much. Like I said, peace, love, unity, respect. Everyone have a great day.